Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm bringing you a new video today. It's been a while since I brought something like this back. Going to be more analytical and something you can sink your teeth into. Um, so as always, try to provide content that help you guys make more informed decisions in your investments and just your Pokemon card and collectible purchases. Again, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, just like to state that up front. But without further ado, let's just jump into it. So I'm going to be talking about, what is the 10 booster pack challenge and why did I do it? We'll be taking a look at the packs and the storage, kind of how I maintain them. And going forward, we'll look at, since I started this, how is the investment and the challenge performing for me? So sliding right into the what of this. So the goal was to collect 10 booster packs of every set from Sun and Moon to present day. This includes specialty sets, so sets from McDonald's, General Mills, things like the booster pack, like Halloween trick or trade booster packs, so things like that. Requirements for this investment or challenge included to basically use as little capital from my own money and essentially sell existing product from my collection to raise additional capital to fund this because this isn't going to be a cheap adventure here. Where at all possible, extract packs from ETBs, tins, or blisters. So essentially, try to source these packs from places that they're not tampered with, not searched, not weighed. So I would say I was able to probably accomplish that with 80% of the packs that I own. So I was super happy with that. Otherwise, the other 20% I'd say were purchased in a loose state. And then finally, work with sellers and trade whenever possible. So I want to say probably 30% of the packs I acquired, or if not more, maybe 40% were from trades. So things that I had, graded slabs, other sealed product, and working with other people on Instagram locally to achieve this collection goal. So this goal ultimately was completed in late December of 2022. There were a couple packs left over, but ultimately this was completed at the end of last year. So why did I do this? So looking at the acronym SMART for SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So um, this goal was something, I was getting kind of, I don't want to say bored, but I needed something new to kind of revamp my excitement in the hobby. So I decided to pick this goal. I thought it was good to go with 10 packs. It was about a less than a third of a booster box. So it was achievable, right? It wasn't something that, I'm not looking to pick up a full booster box of every single set. It was something that I thought was achievable. Was specific. It was something I could do and kind of force myself to achieve by that December 2022 time frame. So the goal was to be 90% complete by December 2022. I was probably more like 98%, so I was happy with that. And eventually, I picked up like a couple more in January, but ultimately, it was pretty much settled by the end of last year. The other thing is that this was a large upfront investment. So, when we say achievable, it's achievable if we're looking at this moving forward. But at the time, it was definitely a big. It was a lot to chew. To chew on initially when you were looking at this and you were trying to go back to the Sun and Moon era with some of these more popular sets. So it was a large upfront investment. But once I was able to get through that, now obviously I'm at a point where I'm just sitting on this and I'm able to pick up sets as they come out in the future here going into Scarlet and Violet. I also did this because it's something that I can continue to do into the future, right? So as long as Pokemon continues to thrive and release new expansions, I'll be able to continue to build onto this. And it's also just giving me a reason to stay invested in Pokemon and keep up with the times. As I move forward in my personal life, settle down, have kids, that kind of thing. It's something that, I'll potentially be able to share with them. Low barrier to entry and to continue. So, both from a financial standpoint and from the availability standpoint of new sets, moving forward, right? We talked about initially it was kind of a lot to chew, but moving forward, it will be very easy to keep up with the 3 to 4 sets plus that Pokemon releases on a yearly basis. You're looking at $40 to $50 investment for each set versus an entire booster box, which is a little bit more of an investment. Uh, the second last bullet there, investment tracking. I like this stuff. I like looking at investments. I like projecting. I like forecasting. I love Excel, right? I love the data analytics of it. So this was something that really fit in with something that I enjoy, and I think I excel in, and just like to do in my spare time. And then finally, diversification and liquidity. So this is something that outside of a booster box is pretty liquid. I wasn't able to, like I said, pick up a full booster box of every single set, so I decided to go with 10 packs of each set, which allows me to diversify across sets, across expansions or eras, right? Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield, and eventually we'll be getting into Scarlet and Violet as that drops. So I'll be expanding across 3 different eras, and I'll be basically diversifying into different sets. So there were some pros there as well in terms of the diversification of the investment if we're looking at this as an asset, as an investment. So at this point, we'll take it over to look at the packs themselves and look at how I'm storing them.
Hey guys, just gonna be showing you the packs and how I have them stored. I keep this in the closet, so I don't usually take this out to look at them. But this is an Apache 4800. Um, it's just a gun case. You can pick these up at like um, any kind of your local hardware store or something. So they are readily available. I think you can even pick these up on Amazon for cheap. Um, so I recommend it for storage because it keeps them safe. But I'll be showing you the inside here and how I have them stored. So you can see this fits nicely the 200 and let's say 50 packs that I have in here. There is foam in between here, so this comes with the whole thing is filled with foam, and then you can basically just configure it the way you want and orient things the way you want. So you can see here, I just have 4 thin rows of the styrofoam, and then for the packs, like if I pull this one up, for example, this is a Celestial Storm. I individually sleeved each pack because I obviously want to maintain the quality of the packs. These I can provide these. I probably will in the video where I got those, but they fit very nicely. And yes, it was a lot. It was a lot of work to get each of them in, but I highly recommend it, especially if this is something you want to do for like a long-term investment, like I did. So if you guys have any questions or anything like that, feel free to drop them below on how I did this, or any of the other information that I may be leaving out.
Okay, and we're back. And at this point, let's jump over to the Google Sheets and take a look at the numbers and see how the investment is doing to this date. Okay, so what I have is let me see how many sets I have here. I have all 38 sets. 39 is obviously still blank because Scarlet and Violet base set has not officially been released as of the 16th of March. But what I have is I have the quantity of each of these that I own. Some of them I have more than others. You can see I obviously have several hundred of this Trick or Trade booster packs. I do capture that here. I have the release date. I have the era they're from. SP dictates specialty, GM dictates General Mills. And I believe, yeah, McD represents McDonald's. So I'm able to, down the road, kind of, if I wanted to plot this in a pivot table or something, I can use that column to kind of separate regular sets from specialty sets. So looking here, you can see my total cost basis was $3,166. So I didn't actually spend that amount because if you remember from the prior charts in the spread or the presentation, um, I traded for a good portion of these. I sold off a good portion of my collection to fund a lot of this. So that wasn't actually the amount of cash that I took out of pocket to fund this. So you can see here, toward the end of last year, this is how much I spent on a per pack basis. So for example, if I bought, and you can actually see it in the formula up here, like General Mills 25th anniversary, let's say that I bought 10 of them and there was shipping, taxes, and things that I had to pay. I just took the overall cost and divided that by the number of packs. And the same thing goes for an ETB, things of that nature, because I did buy ETBs for some of these sets and then just take the packs out. That would be just the total cost of the ETB divided by 10. So moving forward here on the 1st of January, you can see that based on my cost basis of 3166, I had already I basically made some good purchases and gotten some good deals based on the trades that I made. And for the trades, I just kind of I had to assign values based on market price of what I was trading for those packs, and then kind of divvy that up accordingly, proportionally based on some of the packs I was getting, because I'd be getting multiple packs from different sets. So I had to figure out creative ways to kind of assign values. So you could see that I had essentially gained $270 of value at the very start after completing uh, this initial goal of getting all these packs. So I was already off to a good start. On the 2nd of February, I documented an update for all of these. You can see that at this point, from February 2nd to January 1st, I accumulated an additional about $56 of value out of this collection. And going from February to the middle of March, accumulated another about $100. So I'm about $425 up on the total collection. And if we turn that into a percentage, um, we're looking at overall, based on the cost basis, about a 10% increase going from February and about a 13% increase looking at the middle of March. And these are your prior month changes. So from from January to February, saw a 1.6% increase. And from January to February, about a 2.8% increase. So the majority of my profit, not really profit, but investment growth came from that initial purchase of those booster packs at a really good price. So if we want to look at this and just evaluate and look at some takeaways, you look at the worst performing sets for me, and this, I guess I haven't looked at this a ton, but starting with Crown Zenith, I guess this doesn't really surprise me. And we're talking a very small change, but this set just came out, right? We're seeing a lot of supply flooding the market. This is not surprising to me to see something like this drop so much. Similarly, with the Trick or Trade Booster Bundle, I know this came out back in September of last year, but there's so much product on the market right now, and people are just trying to dump it. The other day, I was able to pick up 4 40-pack booster packs for $10, right? 160 packs for $10, 16 cents a pack. People are just trying to get rid of this stuff right now. Evolving Skies, again, it seems like there have been more and more Evolving Skies packs being dumped into the market lately. So again, this is not something that I am surprised to see as one of our top 3 underperforming sets, if we're specifically looking at the beginning of February to the middle of March today. So now if we take a different approach and look at the other side of the coin, um, we're looking at Rebel Clash being the highest performer going from February to the middle of March. So um, again, this is I guess not surprising because Rebel Clash for a long time and still is, um, is not a highly desired set. But as time goes on, people are going to look back and they're going to say, "Well, this set's out of print. Um, it's not being produced anymore. Let me go ahead and pick it up for cheap now." Before it starts to go up. So I think that's the effect you're seeing here as we go into a new era of Pokemon cards. Next one, really the same story, right? Sword and Shield. We're far away, not maybe not far away, but we're away from the point where we're going to get a reprint for this set. And actually, it's kind of funny we're saying that because the top four here are all kind of in that same boat, right? Crimson Invasion and Sun and Moon were the two worst from Sun and Moon, and Rebel Clash and Sword and Shield were the worst two from Sword and Shield era. So it's funny that these four seem to be performing the best on a percentage basis. But really, the takeaway for all of those is the same. Um, so so yeah, it just seems like we had quite a few small changes, small increase, steady increases in these sets versus there were some sets like I showed before. There weren't nearly as many decreases. Um, so that just tells me that overall, the health of the Sword and Shield and Sun and Moon era booster packs are trending up. And that's one of the really cool things about this challenge or investment, right? Is I get to see a nice um, upper level, just overarching view of how everything's doing as a whole. So it's just one of the really cool things that I was able to do by putting this challenge together. Um, at this point, I don't have any charts or graphs to kind of show moving forward here. I do plan to put out hopefully at least a monthly video to update this. If this is something that you think is interesting and you decide to go for it, right? You may not decide to go back all the way to Sun and Moon base, but maybe you select your favorite sets. Maybe you select just Sword and Shield. I think it's a really good and fun investment that or opportunity that'll challenge you, but also not financially burden you. So if you do happen to do something like this, drop a comment. Let me know what you're doing. If you guys like this kind of content, as always, feel free to you know leave me a like, subscribe, support the channel. I definitely appreciate you guys watching. So yeah, until next time, thanks for sticking around.